Hey everyone, it's Heather from Sailor Sky Inspirations, and today we're going to be talking about boundaries. This is part 2 of our series, and we're going to be talking about starting this journey of setting boundaries. So, just a reminder, this is just my experiences on boundaries, life experiences. I'm not a licensed therapist or counselor or anything of the sort. I'm just sharing my stories in hopes that maybe someone out there can gain some help from my experiences. So, when I first started on this journey, the very first thing that I needed to do and wanted to do was to start trusting my intuition, to start trusting my gut and trusting myself and relying on my gut feelings to help me when situations would arise, and to trust people, which people not to trust, and to go with that. For some people, the lack of trusting your intuition could have began back in childhood. You may not have been heard, or you may have been emotionally neglected. Therefore, sometimes, and this is just my opinion, when that happens, you don't trust yourself or trust your intuition and the decisions that you're making. When I finally realized that my boundaries were really lacking, I decided I needed to make a change. I needed to dive into the self-care and self-help and really start to heal the wounds from my childhood and from my life. So I started with videos on YouTube. And if you can, and therapy is an option, that's a wonderful option to start to find a trusted therapist and go from there. If you don't have the means to do that, for me, I used YouTube videos, books, and you can go to your local library. There are tons of self-help books out there. Starting a spiritual practice, and it doesn't have to be something huge. You can really start small each and every day, maybe read a chapter out of a book, start a journal, and even do daily affirmation. I'm still on the journey to self-help and healing my wounds. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. It is going to be a constant work and effort. Some of these wounds, for me, came from childhood, from things that are 30 years old that I had to go dig deep into to heal, to find out where certain behaviors were coming from, why I didn't have boundaries, why I lacked confidence, where this all came from. So it's going to take time, and it's not going to be easy, but let me tell you, it will definitely be worth it in the end. Working on your confidence, working on yourself, everybody benefits when you put in the time and the effort to make a change. Making change is difficult and hard, but you can do it. I'm still working on it, and each and every day I get better and better. So when you start doing the hard work, it will be uncomfortable, and a lot of people may not like it. You may be marked as difficult, as I was, and that's okay. Some people love you, but they really don't want to see you win. People want to keep you miserable because you know the saying, misery loves company. But even if that's happening, you have to keep moving forward, keep doing it, and allow people to fall off. When I was starting this journey, I did find that a lot of people fell off out of my life, friends, family, jobs. And at one point, it did get lonely because everything that I knew had fallen away. But I'm learning now that it's being replaced with better relationships, better jobs, better people, a better mood, a better person. I'm a different person after starting this journey. So for me, my lack of boundaries and lack of confidence started way back in childhood. And my story started living in a small town where everyone knew everybody. Everyone knew everyone's business, and parents of children that I went to school with, their parents are from that town, their parents are from that town. So there was established groups, friends, whatnot. It was a very, very small town. I had a very small graduating class, and everyone knew everybody's business. And maybe someone out there can relate to this type of lifestyle. So from a child's point of view, from me being a child into teenage years, I saw things as you were either part of this group or you were outside this group. You were an outsider. and I never felt like I fit in. There was really no in between. And there was a certain small town mentality that you either had it or you didn't, and I did not. So I just never felt confident to be myself. I never felt safe to be myself because I didn't feel people thought the same way that I did. And from that starting moment, that began my journey with low self-esteem and low confidence, because I could never feel like I fit in properly with my classmates and my town, essentially. So lacking boundaries sometimes I put myself in situations where I would people please or do things maybe that I didn't want to do, or do things that I thought would help me fit in better. And in the long run, it really didn't help anything. Cycles would just repeat themselves. It wasn't until I was an adult and working and living my life that it caught up with me. The cycle caught up with me, and now these problems were in my personal life, and I had people in my circle that were abusing my boundaries and basically bullying me. And it got to a point where I needed to make a change and figure this out, because fighting those people and having outbursts, that didn't solve anything. It would never solve anything. I really needed to dive in and do the work on the inside to heal myself and heal my life. So when I finally had enough mistreatment, bullying, and people overstepping my boundaries, that's when I decided to dive headfirst into making changes and finally working on me. What I realized is if someone feels comfortable to overstep your boundaries, mistreat you, bully you, they don't respect you. And that's a really sad thing to come to terms with, is that these people feel comfortable enough to mistreat you that they don't care about you. But that's okay. It's not okay, but it is okay, because I finally learned that it's time to do the work. I matter, my life matters, and I love myself enough to do the work, to be confident, and live the life that I deserve. Writing down your boundaries in a journal is a good start. You're telling yourself what you will and will not accept. Writing down, I will not accept someone showing up at my house. I will not accept someone berating me. I will not accept someone yelling at me. I will not tolerate whatever it is your boundary is. Expecting you to babysit or expecting you to clean their house, whatever. There's a million different examples. When you write it down, then you know you have to follow these boundaries. These are your rules of how you want to be treated by your kids, by your spouse, by your parents, by your in-laws, by your boss, anyone in your life, what you will and will not tolerate, and stick to it. It will be hard, but try to stick to it. I had to do that. I'm still working on that because I still find myself unsure and not confident. But it's a process, and it's going to take time, and it's going to take effort and work. An example, you come in contact with that difficult in-law. That in-law, you meet up with them, you see them at a family function or a holiday, and right off that bat, they start. They're negative, they're saying nasty things to you. They could be a narcissist, they're just toxic, they're mean, hateful, nasty. And they come up to you and they start. The minute that they start, you can kindly and politely excuse yourself and not tolerate it. That might make them angry, but you have every right to stop the conversation, end it, either tell them you'll pick it up later or just exit the conversation, exit the room. You can set those boundaries with toxic people. You get to make the decision of how people will treat you. That's a beautiful thing when you finally take your life, your emotions into your hands, and you set the tone of how people will treat you. So I'm going to end the video here. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I will create more. I'm going to think of some more topics, and I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Bye.